Hey everybody, so today what I'm doing is I'm making a template so I can make some uh, growth height charts. And there's a couple different ways to do this, but the way I'm gonna do it today is with a drill bit. Another way would be to make a little jig where your router is gonna sit between, and then you have a piece of wood here, and then like a stopping block in the back, and then you can just route these lines exactly to what length you want them. But the way I'm gonna do them with the drill bit, there's a little more math involved. Um, so since I want these inch lines to be, or the small lines to be 1 1/4 inch for the smallest one, I want 3 inches for the longest one. I'm gonna be doing 1 3/4 for the like every third line, like for your quarter foot, and then for the half a foot at the 6 inch mark, it's gonna be 2 1/4. So as long as they're kind of offset, it doesn't really matter how you do that. Like the length of them, it's gonna depend on if you're using a 1/6 like I'm gonna be using, or a 1/8. You're gonna want the lines a little bit longer. So since I want these at 1 1/4, what I have to do is make sure that when I drill this hole, that's gonna end up being like 1 3/8 or something like that. And then I have to measure um, the difference between the bit and the edge of my guide here. And you know, if you're using a 3/8 guide, it's gonna be different. I'm using a 1/2 inch, so the math is kind of gonna differ. But basically, when I did it, what I had to do is make every line an 1/8 inch shorter than what I want the final to be, because once I put this hole in there, and then that guide has something to go against, it's gonna counteract the difference between the template and the edge and the end of here, and it's going to give me 1 1/4 inch. So the way you're going to get this cut out here is taking this nail, I'm going to put it right there on the T that I made. That's going to give me a good area where I can put this drill bit right in there. Now you want to be as vertical as you can. And then everything in the middle here is going to be cut out, which is going to leave me with this. Keep the same measurement from the edge of the board to the center of the hole that you drilled to set your blade height. Now that I'm all done, and you could definitely make one of these, you know, 6.5 feet or whatever, however long you want to make your ruler. But I'm just gonna do one, and then as I go down the line, I'll just move it down and clamp it on every foot mark, and then I'll just go down the line that way. Here's the board with all of the lines marked. All right, I'm gonna try to engrave these. It's not gonna be exactly, I mean, I might be able to hit that with like a chisel or something and square off the edges, but I'm just gonna use that same roundover bit. But the way I'm gonna decide that, I kind of just did a test run on where I kind of wanted that. So what I did was I made a line on the foot marker, like at 2 1/8, which was just kind of what I liked. And then, so now I just come over here and line this up. I then traced the stencil with a black Sharpie. What I'm doing now is just kind of cleaning up some of the edges and things like that with the chisel. Anything that I may have missed with the router. Next, I just take a can of black spray paint and then I make sure to get all of the lines and the numbers. I almost ended up just painting the whole board. So I wiped it down with the cheesecloth after I vacuumed and sprayed it with the air. So next what I'm going to do is, since this is a softwood, I'm going to put a pre-stain on. Then I'm going to put a Briar Smoke stain on there, and this is like a one coat thing, so I should only have to do it once. Then I'm going to mix my polyurethane and half mineral spirits and then make my own wipe-on poly and see how that works. I've never done that before, but from other videos I've seen, it works just fine. Once you put a nice even layer of the pre-stain on here, you want to let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes and then wipe it off. When it's time to apply your stain, you could do so using a brush, or you could just use a rag, and the longer that you leave the stain on, the darker the color will be. So I just left this on for just a couple minutes and then wiped off the excess. After wiping off the excess stain, I did 3 coats of the wipe-on poly, and you should be all set to go. Hope you enjoyed the video.